Come along with us on a quick road trip through some of Eastern Oregon's smallest towns. I'm Amber, traveling with my husband Chris and our two moms. We had one night and 2 full days to make a big loop through the high desert, exploring ghost towns, county courthouses, and Oregon's painted hills. Along the way, we also traced parts of the Oregon Trail and explored Oregon's gold rush history. And of course, I'll share those practical details every road tripper wants to know: where to stretch your legs, where to find a bathroom, and the kinds of stops that make a long drive more than just miles on the road. Speaking of places to stretch your legs, one of my favorite stops in Sherman County is this little town of Morrow. Just off Highway 97, Morrow has one of the most charming city parks that you'll find in all of Eastern Oregon. It's the perfect place to let kids or your moms run around on the playground, swing like a kid again, or just take a break from the drive. The park is beautifully maintained with clean public restrooms, a grassy picnic area, and even a covered bridge that leads to a small local museum. Whether you're looking to stretch your legs, grab some fresh air, or just enjoy a small town Oregon moment, Morrow is absolutely worth it. Heading south on Highway 97, it's actually pretty easy to miss Shaniko. It sits right on a sharp corner with two small turnoffs, but if you take the time to pull in, you'll find yourself in one of Oregon's quirkiest old towns. Shaniko has that late 19th century old Wild West vibes: wooden boardwalks, weathered buildings, and the kind of atmosphere that makes you feel like you've stepped back in time. A little bit of a warning: those wooden sidewalks aren't in the best shape anymore, some are uneven, and a few are a little rotten in a few places. Back in the early 1900s, Shaniko was booming. It was once known as the wool capital of the world, shipping out millions of pounds of wool every year by railroad. The population today, around 20 or 30 people at most, which makes it a living ghost town. We spent quite a bit of time wandering around here, more than most of the small towns on a route. There's still a working post office, a souvenir shop, a cafe where you could grab ice cream or snacks, even a hotel that's open for guests. A few of the other businesses only run seasonally, and some of the shopkeepers don't even live in town full time. That gives the place sort of a ghostly, half-empty feel. If you wander behind the souvenir shop, you'll find the marshal's office, which is a lot of fun to go check out. You can even put yourself in a cell. When you break out the cell and head out of the marshal's office, take a left, go across this little grassy area, which there are some picnic tables, so if you want to have lunch, you can. But there's this cute little museum. Go through it, check it out. Lots of fun little details about the town and the surrounding area. And outside of this museum, and you walk down the boardwalk, you'll find an antique store and a saloon, a broken down piano, but you can still kind of move some things around and make some musical notes there. The antique store was closed. Not sure if it's really ever open. Fun fact, not too long ago, someone tried to reopen the saloon with drinks and a Wild West gun show. The locals weren't impressed. According to the shopkeeper we met, they basically ran him out of town. Honestly, that fits the frontier vibe perfectly. A bad guy rolls into town, and the townsfolk chase him on out. There are public restrooms here, which is always a win when it comes to road trips. So if you're driving Highway 97, I'd recommend pulling off. Shaniko may not be a complete ghost town, but with the limited year-round residents, historic buildings, and quirky Western charm, it's a stop worth stretching your legs for and soaking in some of Oregon's rich history. There are rumors that this hotel is haunted, so if you're into that creepy, spooky vibe thing, I would 100% give this place a shot. Oh, hey, hi, Mom. Yep, watch those boards. Between Shaniko and Fossil, we passed through Antelope, a tiny town with a population today of less than 50. But back in the 1980s, this quiet community became world famous when it was taken over by a religious cult. The group was called the Rajneeshis, followers of an Indian guru. They moved into Wasco County and built a massive commune. At their peak, more than 2,000 followers lived there, turning the desert into their own city with homes, businesses, even their own police force. Things got messy fast. They clashed with locals, tried to take over the Wasco County government, and in 1984, they carried out the largest bioterror attack in U.S. history. Eventually, their leaders were arrested. The commune collapsed, and the ranch was later turned into a youth camp. So when you drive through Antelope, it looks just like any other tiny high desert town, but the history here is wild. We rolled into Fossil just as the parade was ending for the Wheeler County Fair. We didn't get out and explore the fairgrounds, but we did drive through, and it had that small town, close-knit feel that you would expect from one of Oregon's tiniest counties. The town itself is quaint, more of a cozy Hallmark movie vibe than a Old West ghost town feeling you get from Shaniko and Antelope. We stopped at the Wheeler County Courthouse, which was built in 1902 and is still in use today. It's a beautiful historic building that really stands out as a centerpiece of this little community. Fossil is most famous for its public fossil dig site behind the high school. It's actually the only place in the US where you could legally dig for fossils right inside city limits. People come here to uncover 30-million-year-old plant fossils, mostly leaves, from a time when the whole area was a lush forest. We didn't stop to dig this time, but if that's your thing, it's definitely a unique adventure you won't find anywhere else. For us, Fossil was more of a drive-through stop than a deep dive, but it was still fun to see a town with so much history packed into such a small space. Leaving Fossil, the scenery shifted fast. We left the sagebrush desert behind and started climbing into greener country, taller trees, winding stretches of road with big drops and sweeping views. Our destination was the Painted Hills, one of Oregon's seven wonders. The layers of red, gold, and black you see here record millions of years of changing climate, from lush tropical forests to dry deserts. Fossils from ancient plants and even animals like early horses and rhinos have been found in these hills. We chose the Painted Cove Trail, which is a quarter-mile loop, mostly on boardwalk with a short section of steps over a gentle incline. It's considered one of the easiest trails here, and it gives you the chance to walk right along the base of these vivid red mounds. Chris's mom, Yvonne, who's 77, had no trouble with this loop, but my mom decided to turn back part way though. She broke her knee in 3 places just before our wedding last year, and even though she healed up, she didn't want to push it on day 1 of a long road trip. Honestly, that was a smart call. Pacing yourself matters out here, especially in the heat. We visited around midday, and while it was hot, it wasn't crowded. Just a handful of other people on the trail, which made it feel peaceful instead of packed. Although we didn't hike the Overlook Trail, we were still able to take in incredible views right from the car, watching the painted hills roll away in layers of color. And that's where part 1 ends, but the journey is just beginning. In part 2, we'll dig deeper into the John Day fossil beds, uncover Oregon's gold rush history in Sumpter, and walk in the footsteps of pioneers along the Oregon Trail in Baker City. Hopefully, we'll see you there.